A lot of people also ask for like if we could choose where we spawn in. Like that would be really good as well.
Yeah, oh, that would be so great. Never
Yeah.
have to build over a stupid door that doesn't allow collision.
Oh, collision. Yeah, collision is such a weird thing in the game too. I feel sometimes it's very odd. Look, everybody.
It's like the part where I build. I like it so much, but it's so far. One kind of funny story, I think personally, with the former housing judges in Seaveil, you have like a giant boat that's already there. It's part of the build.
Yeah.
And I was watching one of the judges hoping to see my house, and he was already visiting some other Seaveils. And like at the second one, he was like, "Oh, they built a boat too," and it's like, "No, it's already there."
Aww. I mean,
does that mean like the first person got like great marks for like building a boat that's
not
already in the house?
Yeah. I mean, it's just when you don't know the house, right? So that might be a good lesson for those of you and of us, of everyone. If you don't know or if you're not familiar with a house, go visit the vanilla version. You know, unfurnished. Have a look at it, what it looks like, and then go visit. Because then you do see the transformation and the difference in the build. When I was visiting here, I thought this is such a wonderful idea to have the boat, the vessel tipped over the downstairs portal. Because of course you're going down, right?
It's just like one item, like here's the portal, like look at the boat, oh there's a portal, go through it. That's the motivation behind the boat.
Yeah, but it's good. It's fantastic. It's really fantastic because it does tell people, okay, don't deviate. There's something that happened with the boat. Just go see. Then, of course, a very long corridor, and there's really large. Is such a really large plot. There are rooms left and right here, but 'tis not where the wonderful, glorious dragon waits for us, everyone. Was this?
It's so good.
It is so good indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Was this the first choice house?
Dragon.
Yeah, I went back to the dragon because I was like, have I seen the dragon? Because I saw the snake, but I was like, there was supposed to be a dragon.
Many people see the snake and they think it's okay, I guess that's a dragon, and then they walk away.
Yeah, and then I went. Yeah, and I was already on my way back, and I was like, no, wait, and I went back because, of course, so wonderful.
Have the snackpot fish also sort of present in this house.
Oh, look, everyone. This is so fun. Oh no, snackpot fish. Oh no. This is so much fun, sorry.
I don't know why
it's like a skeleton of mushrooms.
I think I just figured out, like, oh, I can make skeletons with these. What kind of skeletons should I make? You know what? I'm just gonna make that fish.
All the shrooms, everybody, look! This is so
many
fun.
People are pissed off because I used the replica cursed orb of Meridia as the eye. Because it's so expensive. Like, I don't know what else to use.
But you have to, I mean, you have to have some form to, you know, create an eye, and it's supposed to be a little bit more dead, you know, because it's a skeleton, so...
Yeah.
This is so fun. Oh, look, everyone.
Yeah, you can see the glare of that Azuroplasm cage through the snake, but
yeah,
it's so hard to hide it.
It kind of works though. Like,
it does, yeah. It does.
Maybe I should move it a bit to the left so that's behind the pillar that he's holding. But yeah, the snake body, easy. The snake head, difficult.
Difficult. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I just it's just hard making. Like the heads are just the most difficult parts in general.
Hmm. And in snakes, I mean, they are also very symmetric, right? So that could also be a little bit of a challenge to get it just right. And there's movement in this. I mean, I always like to talk about movement in some of the builds that we see, and that's exactly what I mean by that. There's a little story that's being told here with a snake. The body is wrapped
Yeah, I really want
around.
him to hold something
Mm.
because it just makes it more dynamic.
Yes, exactly.
Like the dragon can be over there and be all mysterious and such, but like the snake,
Has to be dynamic
um,
a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of movement. And everybody is now wondering what dragon? This dragon, everyone. Look, this dragon.
Which has also been copied.
And there is a little body to it too. Look. Look, everyone. Can you see? Lurking. Lurking there. Being all
Yeah, that
mysterious.
body goes back pretty much all the way back from the snake.
Yeah. It's like we are here and we can see the body. It's a big one, this dragon. Look, everyone. Oh,
And
and
if
the
you drink
eyes.
7 Dragon Balls, he will grant you a wish.
You know, Sterion actually built the Kame house, and there were the
Yeah,
Dragon
it's so
Balls.
nice. I love that one.
It's so fantastic. I showed it in an episode of Crips just recently. Um, it did fit the summary theme, and so that was so fantastic. Also, such an amazing and inventive build. So the 7 Dragon Balls are there, and the dragon is here. What do we do now? Hmm. Hmm. So this was one of the more fiddly ones, would you say? Stressful ones?
I think the dragon is one of the most hardest thing I've made.
Mm.
Did you
That one
like
took
build
me
it?
ages.
Did you build it up on top of the water and link it all and then push it down?
Yeah,
Or did
I hope I can grab it. Otherwise, I don't have EHT. I don't have ESO plus turned on. What's it called again?
Because I think that would be so hard to do, like out of bounds.
Wait.
It's so amazing. Oh, look, everyone.
There you go. But he's way too bright out of the water.
Yeah, it looks more mysterious beneath. But look,
Yeah.
everyone, look.
Eyes close up though, it's got a really nice face close up as well though.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Certainly does.
It really works up close too.
Totally does. But I think that you're right in that it is more mysterious in the water. Lurking.
Yeah, like it's obviously less bright, but like the darkness just kind of fills in some blanks.
And it's kind of eerie as well, because it's like, is it going to strike out at me, sort of thing. Like it's quite, I like that about it. It's like, oh, watch your step.
Yeah, precisely. And I mean, is a little creature that is a very huge creature that's hiding there and lurking and just waiting for the right moment to strike, right? So it absolutely plays into that as well. And so this was the hardest thing you ever built, and why?
Yeah, to be honest, I also really struggled with like, well, the dragon was really hard. The snake head also took a while. But also I just did not have any clue what to do with the rest of the build. I just knew I wanted to sort of make something really impressive with the skill ID before other people were going to use it. And I wanted to cover those bases, but then I had those done, and I honestly did not know what to do with the rest of the house.
Creature more important.
those parts are not my favorite. I think it wasn't a strict deadline contest. I think I was building onto the background things like until like the first person arrived, maybe, which was allowed. But it's not something that I want to do. I prefer to be done and not have to look at building anything on it again.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, it's also good when you have finished something and have turned it in and can't forget about it in the sense that, okay, I've no need to put my fingers onto that, or I don't have any kind of need to,
I had some ideas. It's like at they have this tiny village here.
Ah.
And they're all kind of a bit Eastern, Middle Eastern themed. Maybe a bit of I can't pronounce it, but Chongqing, which is that part in China that's very Middle Eastern looking. Which kind of fits with the dragon
Yes.
as well.
It's a really pretty
But
area. Like it's so
I
pretty.
think I really like it up until maybe this point, and I'm not sure if I just don't like the background rocks because I needed to cut off the rest of the build. And I just did not know with what. I eventually used those giant coral spires that came. I think they came with Jode even, maybe. I don't know with what house they came with. And then I just tried to fill it up, but trying to cut off the parts. Cut off the build from the rest of the house. I just didn't know what to do with.
Well, it's such a huge space.
Yeah, it is a
And
really
there's,
huge
like,
space.
a little dragon shrine, and over there there's a snake shrine that sacrificed the fish for some reason.
For some reason.
I think I mostly had ideas for the creatures and not many ideas for the town part, aside from maybe a bit of Middle Eastern looking.
Yeah, I think I struggle with environments too. Like you kind of know what you're building is the feature, but then you're like, okay, so how do I finish it? Like I think I do that as well.
I
That's so
think I
interesting.
should have just made it smaller, to be honest. I think I should have just cut this entire part out, like the village. I should have closed it in and made it more like Snackpot.
But then you want to use a big house because you don't know how many spots it's going to take up in the first place. You know that way, like for the creature.
Yeah, but also it's like a really expensive crown house that has this giant underwater cave part that you want to use. Like if this was one of those free houses you got for like an event, I could just cut that shit off, no problem. But I spent like 13k crowns on this house, so then I need to use the features that made me like it so much, so then I can't cut off the giant water part, and that was just a really struggle. Actually, I have so many crown houses that I never ended up fully decorating because I want to use the waterfall part, but I can't build at the waterfall parts because I just need to cut off so much stuff.
Yeah.
And then it just never gets done. And that made me kind of not really like. I think especially just the part with the ivies over there, because it's just more of a height job than it is like, ooh, I have such a great idea for this.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, and this is why the vastness of some of the plots can really be such a big challenge, because you wanna build something special, and you have built something extremely special here. I think everybody will agree in that assessment. I mean, it's not just a wonderful snake, but also a lurking dragon, everyone. And then you've also gone to add more here just to make sure that you do, in fact, incorporate that part, the water feature part of the house, and don't close off all that much of it. I mean, there's a lot more around in this house, right? So you could have decided to go in a different direction with it, but yeah, it's a conundrum a little bit.
Yeah, looking back, I think I just should have just made the whole house the snake and the dragon. Because if you just make like one really good creature, it's more dynamic than making one really good creature but like meh kind of environment or other. So I feel like the environment kind of takes away from like the parts that are really good. Because I really love that dragon, especially. I think that's probably one of the best things I've built.
And also the hardest one, so
it was so hard.
it was so hard, and I think sometimes when we do very hard things, also notice everybody there's a little ship here, and another little ship here,
Yeah.
is so wonderful when we get done with something really hard or that was really stressful for you, and then be rewarded with really falling in love with what you've designed. And I think that's really all that matters. Everything else, is not that important. I mean, granted, if you are building for competition and you want to place, or your aim is to place, then it can be very stressful, I imagine, to get it just right. And both of you have mentioned that you struggle with the environment. You're not alone. There are lots of people who struggle with environment. So you shouldn't feel inferior or anything less because you're such masters at designing these gorgeous, gorgeous creatures. Maybe it would be fair to just have other people help sometimes in just giving you perspective.
Yeah,
Doesn't have to
I
be
feel like
hands-on, but
even just saying
also
just a screenshot, it's good to just like, what do you think? It's great.
yeah, it's great to. Sure,
I think
go ahead.
in this case it's also just a bit painful because like I did place like in the top 10, I think, but then somebody else copied my Studio Ghibli build like by a lot. Like it wasn't a one-on-one copy like some people did for my Pikachu, also with the dragon, and the person that copied my Urswell. But they won like 2 prizes. Including honorable mention most original, and I was like, most original, that's pretty much my Ghibli build. And then it's just kind of like, you mean I could have just entered my own house possibly and like placed just as high with, like, there was a house that never won anything. So this one, I think it got like, I'm not sure, but like 8th or something. And then and I think I won like 6 million gold or something. And the other person who copied my other house won like 4 or 5 million gold in total.
I feel like this is a winning house, personally. I think this should have won. You wonder though, do you think that some of the judges maybe didn't see the dragon?
Maybe.
I don't remember who won, so I'm not gonna say like, oh my, I should have been the winner,
I've not
I
seen
mean,
it.
obviously, everybody wants to always place higher. Oh, what did win? I do think people miss the dragon. Because I've seen people miss the dragon, but I know that people always miss these elements that are just even a little bit hidden. So I think I did write in the description there's a giant dragon. They're like, please look in the water, please. But there's a lot of water, so maybe they didn't see it.
I mean, and technically the snake is in the water too, but the scales are in the water too, so maybe they thought that, or so, is sometimes really not with malice. Sometimes people are also in some competitions. You are on a time crunch to get through, all the houses. But I do feel for all of you who feel you have been overlooked or some very crucial parts of your houses got missed, which is why we're here to highlight them, to showcase them, to talk about them, and hear your voices so that we can learn to slow down and find the hidden little ones and large
Look
dragons.
down as well as up. Look up and down all the time.
I think this is like the One More Housing was like such a big contest. Like you're not going to agree with like every single placement in general. You know, that's fine. I think the only thing that really soured me was just that I didn't speak up about that other person copying me. Because I didn't want to like make it a whole thing, but like afterwards you see them win 2 things and you're like, okay, now I wish I made it a whole thing, and that just more sucked than my own placement. Because now in comparison to like somebody who just copied an older build of mine, then it's just, you know, not as fun as it would have been to just like have like 8th place normally. So yeah, if you do think somebody copied you and you're in a contest, just
Speak
say
up.
it.
Yes, say it. Speak up. Don't be shy. And particularly with these kinds of things, I mean, is it is such a shame, really. I mean, I find it very, very odd when someone decides, I see something very beautiful, I'm going to go and copy paste. And then I'm going to enter this into a competition. I mean, what kind of achievement is that? And also,
how can that be a satisfactory win?
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like, there's no.
Yeah, I think the struggle is that it wasn't like they did, like I could tell they copied mine because they had like things that I kind of used for that build out of like, I mean, sure, that's fine, but if I expect somebody to make it from scratch, I'd expect them to use other items, you know? Like, I used the bread for the nose, and they also used the bread for the nose, and then I think you didn't even think, like, trying something else other than the bread, because I don't think, like, you know, like, when people, copy somebody else's tattoos, but the person tattooing it also copies somebody's mole or nipple into the new tattoo. Those kind of hints that it's a copy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like as bad as other copies that I've had experience. Like I keep mentioning it, like, oh, somebody copied this. I already have an identical twin. I don't need people.
You already have an identical twin. Please, no more copies. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. It's like, but like if you copy it, like just first ask somebody. Don't enter it into a contest. And you know, it just sucks because the other person is put into the position that they now have to speak up about it, that they need to kick up a fuss.
Yeah, and that's just taking all the fun out and the passion and also the joy, right? I mean, it's supposed to be something joyful and fun, and competitions, I mean, the word competition already tells you that is competitive and there are people facing off against each other in a way, if that makes sense. But it can also be an opportunity as a community to show off what you've got and share in the experience and be honest about it and just, you know, enjoy that part. And if you're here to learn, because there are also people who are here to learn, who are just starting out, there's no harm in talking to people and having a conversation about how they did things. That's what we are doing right here, right now, in this wonderful part 2. But don't go ahead and then copy paste exactly what they have done and enter it into a competition. That's just, there's no honor in that. It's just
yeah, because why
just
I wanted to make
poisons.
this build was also just, especially the snake and the dragon, is because I knew eventually like other people would probably use the same mushroom ID.
Ah, yeah.
And they would make fakes, and I wanted to be at least be the first one, for example, to make a giant underwater dragon with them. so that nobody would like later think like, oh, I'm copying somebody else with an ID that's actually already my ID. Because some things like the two couches, the two beds make a couch. It's been done by so many people.
Yeah.
It's like to say like somebody copied me because they smacked two beds together to make a couch. Eventually some ideas will just turn into like general
Things,
building
yeah.
things.
Yeah, like the toilet
So
roll
I
as
just
well,
wanted
isn't
to
it?
at least be
Yeah, also the
early
toilet
with
paper,
this
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Toilet paper, the cup, the dress cup that's always getting used as toilet paper is, I mean, or certain, and we're back to toilets, everybody.
Sorry, I'm from Xbox. It does happen.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, it's one of the favorite things I look at, and this is very odd of me saying it, but mundane things are sometimes the most interesting cobbled because the designers spend so much time fiddling about with different items to see how they can make an ordinary thing that we all know from the real world appear in ESO without using the throne that they gave us just recently, which is so nice. And yeah, and with this, I really love that you wanted to be the first, be a pioneer with those mushrooms, with the scales, with this idea, and
It's so unique.
it's very unique and so elegant, and you can see a flow in them, right? You can see the gorgeous snake body flowing, and there's movement in them. It's just I really love that, and the same is true also for the dragon, obviously. And yeah, it's just I really love that.
Yeah,
And
because
also,
I've also had with my Pikachu and something like,
Mm.
obviously other people are going to make a Pikachu at one point. Like I don't own Pikachu,
No,
but like
of
the
course.
people use the exact same picture and exact same items, and it's like, just make another Pikachu. Like if you want to use the wheat, sure, use the wheat. Because I also think if I were going to make a Pikachu, I would use the wheat. Well, like what else would be nice and yellow to use, except maybe those Eleanor carpets or something. Like that you don't even like deviate from like the obvious, like what somebody else used. Like if somebody, like people are allowed to use the mushrooms for skills. Like I made this like now, I think the fish one was from 2002. Like at a certain point it will be like 3, 4, 5 years old.
Yeah.
Just don't make the exact same fish or make the exact same dragon or make the exact same snake like the person on Xbox did. They just make the exact same cobra looking snake in
Yeah, utilizing a skill is fine, same as you were saying with the couches, or with designing or utilizing a couch, just smacking two beds together. It's a skill that everybody can use. It's free, really, but you don't have to copy in the sense that you copy an exact build. And that's really exactly, Taryn. That's really something unbelievable. I find that unbelievable too, that people do that.
Like there are only so many couches that some people are going to make the same couch bed, like eventually, even without seeing each other.
Yeah,
but like if they also happen to have the same chairs and happen to have the same wallpaper and happen to have the same, like at that point, it's pretty obvious that they just
copied. Yeah, and that's just terrible. Yeah, and Shimina was also saying that some items invite to be used as in a certain way, but a whole build, yeah, that's I mean, it's just terrible. And also Shimina was commenting on not saying names, of course, but one more housing and very large competitions, maybe some of the judges just feel rushed. They have to enter and do things, and maybe they're not as experienced or don't have as much time, and just mark it off. And I think I think it's really sad when that happens.
And it were 175 houses I needed to judge. So there were also some houses that, for my sanity's sake, I could look at it and it was like, okay, this is actually a storage home. I need to move on. I can't critically think about what scores I'm going to give like a storage home. But yeah, I think that there's just too many entries.
Sometimes, yeah, it can be really overwhelming. Also, Shimina was just mentioning that Shimina also made a couch, but actually noted it in the description that it's not their idea. So you can do that. It's not hard. Doesn't hurt either. And yeah, applying a skill that you learn somewhere, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong. But yeah, going ahead and copying like that is just so sad. It's so terrible.
I think the couch, the two-bed couch one, I think that one is so universal at this point. I don't really think anybody needs to say like, "Oh, I wasn't the originator," because we all know. I don't think we can even tell who originated that, to be honest, at this point.
Yes.
Same with the toilet paper. Like, if you had to, like, what other item is there, especially in the early years, to make toilet paper with? If you were going to make a toilet, you're going to use it as toilet paper, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, I've also seen. Oh, I'm sorry, Tara. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying the toilet roll thing. It is perfect.
Yeah, it's
Like,
totally perfect.
You know.
It's really fun. I mean,
You like put a bunch of candles together until it and then spin it around so that it's like a circle. No, like we're all going to use the toilet paper cup.
yes. I mean, I have seen also someone use the toilet paper cup as mozzarella on a pizza.
Yeah.
Oh.
So just turning it around and then sinking it in. So it's just it's very versatile. And sometimes I've even seen the cup being used as a cup. Like it was really a cup, not toilet paper or something. It's really fun and. Yeah, so little mundane things. They're so amazing to see what you guys. Also kitchens. I'm obsessed with or obsessed sometimes with kitchens and find it so amazing.
Really gross one for an unpurposely gross one.
And purposely gross one. Oh dear, everyone. Yeah. I mean, you did say that you like to think of when you have a theme, then it can it be scary? Can I have something
stupid?
Yes, something fun. Something to make people giggle. I really love that. This is so fun.
Yeah, it was for that I first made a pumpkin lifting weights for J-Heart.
That was so fun.
I used that picture for a New Year's resolution contest. And then I turned that pumpkin, his name was Pumpkin Jacked. I made him a huge slob.
So funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, I get that, Simina, with One More Housing. Like, I don't think I could ever, like, judge on a stream because I think the exhaustion with that many entries at some point also just hit in. With One More Housing, like, I finished the North American... I first did Europe once, then I finished the North American ones, and then I had to go back to Europe because I noticed that my rating skill just morphed.
Oh dear.
And then I adjust all the scores. Like at a certain point, like an EU 8 wasn't and an NA 8 for like different numbers.
Ah, I see what you mean. Yeah. I mean, for me, I have always judged on stream. I mean, I never say any kind of scores or anything like that, but I always judge on stream, which meant for the Enchanted Grove retreat I did, and before that one we had Gold Road Visions, and I put in I think 60 hours for Gold Road Visions and about the same amount for the Enchanted Grove retreat, and the competitions, all houses together, were well over 200 contestants. And you can, if you go to the on my Twitch, if you go to the collection that I made for that, you see the amount of hours that are in there, and you just see that the streams themselves, just the highlights of the streams, that they're really long. And I had people stay with me for almost 10 hours, which I was really amazed that people were able to hang out with me for that long and not get super tired um, of watching me meander through houses very slow. So yeah, it is very exhausting, and it is taxing, because you have to make sure that it doesn't, as you're saying, morph in regards to the scoring and stuff. But I would always do it again live on stream. But that's just me, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always have a lot of energy. It's not like I'm I feel depleted or something. I think after the Enchanted Grove retreat, at some point my voice started to go like, okay, you might need a break soon from all the talking. But that was already in the last 2 streams, I think. So
Yeah, like 175 were the ones, like, it was just too many for me. That was just, uh,
it's very
it was,
understandable.
and I think
It's a lot.
mostly afterwards, I think when you started, they already made like a pre-selection. So anything that was like not an actual contest house was like not in the running. Like having to like give numbers to like houses that were honestly not meant for a contest is just really difficult. I should have been more been actually harder, I think, on them. You know, like if like a guildie asks me to visit their house and they just have a wall and it's just their dragon trophies, their dungeon trophies, I'm like, sure, that, you know, great job, but in a contest, like, I think at that point, I think on NA, I think there were like 50 of those kind of houses. Because there was also no theme, you could do anything, so anybody who had a house and just entered their house with their trophies, with their antiquarian items, and that just became like really, really exhausting. And with the later, I think later two, they were a bit more strict on that.
Yes, they were.
So you were looking at actual contest builds. Like maybe some were like 10s out of 10s, and maybe some were like still a beginner made them, but the beginner actually like worked hard on it, you know?
They do. They work very hard. I mean, everybody does, but a lot of people really put their heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into it, and maybe scream at the screen a few times or have words because things don't work as they want them to work. So yeah.
They actually thought about the build, you know, like they put like real mind into like, oh, I want to make this, and that I think that would probably made it a lot easier than just like I've parked all my items here, houses. And I think that's just a bit of, you know, when you advertise very broadly. I think a lot of PvP guilds were also like advertised to, and there is no theme and there is no other kind of restriction that people have to hold to. You do get 400 entries, but you don't get like the same kind of entries that a housing guild would get, that has a theme, that has something.
I mean, Enchanted Grove Retreat, I think, is a very good example of a theme that a housing guild had, and there were magnificent entries, 171 for that one, and for Gold Road Visions there was 78, which is also quite a lot to get through. I remember that for last year's One More Housing that they did wheedle it down to a manageable amount for both judges groups, which is it is very good that they do that, because it really, you know, if you like me and you snail through houses and you take your time and you look at the details, or you want to look at the details, it's you you can't rush through them in 10 minutes. You have to have a little bit more time. But if you have a large number of houses and you're spending about half an hour or 45 minutes in each house, just do the math. You can just do the math and calculate how long it would take me, for instance, to get through houses like that. So is very good when they are able to whittle down contestants a little bit and weed out those that obviously don't fit a theme, or that were just entered for the glory. Some designers or some people do that too, just to be part of it, and that's fine. It's absolutely fine to participate, and that's why I'm saying that people should really participate in competitions because of being part of the housing community and being part of something so large and big. I think that's really important to stress. But at the same time, when it comes to the judging part,
yeah, like that's why I always prefer, like for my guild, Tamriel Homes, best guild ever, and I promise I will be more active. We always do only in-guild entries, and we do guild voting. So we don't 20 entries or something, but we do have a high amount of guild participations. I think one time we got like 69 entries.
It's very good participation, yes.
For just only people in one guild, and they were all around the theme, and we're all putting a lot of effort into. And then guildies will vote on the entry, so even if you do not build,
you still participate. Yeah, very good point. Very good point.
Houses, and they don't particularly enjoy the building part, but in that way they can participate.
Yeah, be part.
I enjoy your guilds because it's like the contests aren't like one after another, one after another. Like they're a bit more spread out. I think that makes them more special. So you're like, oh, right, there's a contest. I'm going to try and make effort.
Yeah.
I like the kind of pacing of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pacing in regards to competitions is also a question that you have to ask in housing communities, and sometimes it just we have a feature now on Discord that is called polls, so you can just poll and see what people want and listen to the people, and that's a recurring thing for me. I keep repeating it to you guys. I'm here to listen. So if you have anything you want to be highlighted, or if there's anything that I can do to highlight something or carve out space.
Calling me. I'll be gone for a second.
Sure.
I'll be
right back. Don't worry, it's all right. We're still here. I was just gonna say that please, also those of you who are with us in Twitch, don't be shy. You can message me, and I'm always happy to listen and find spaces. Also for those who, sometimes builds can be really, really specific, like very niche, and maybe they haven't fit into a competition theme or into other streaming themes, for instance, in the showcases on the house folio. Then do message, and maybe we can find a way to create space. Just recently I've done that because I had a wonderful conversation with Thunderthigh about literature in housing, and there is now a space for that on the real end game. So do give us feedback. We will listen. I will listen, and I will try to find spaces where they're needed. So don't be shy. It's so wonderful, everybody. I think I lingered in this build for a while, just staring at the snake. And then staring at the dragon.
The scales are just so perfect, aren't they?
They are.
It's like it just works so well.
It works absolutely magnificent, and we do see this evolution, right? From mushrooms and the snake in the Earthspire Sanctuary, and then we saw this gorgeous mushrooms in the Snug Pod, and here we are now. And it's so fascinating to see. And of course, you do need that azure plasm cage to get that effect. Yeah, makes so much sense.
I like the glow of it coming through the wall. I think it's quite nice. I don't know. I know it's not intentional, but I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've meandered about this. That how far can you push it without losing the effect?
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the environment around the creatures is. I mean, saying that or hearing that Sorries is actually not that happy about it is. I was really loving it. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
It's so impressive, so glorious.
I love all the wee lanterns and things as you walk.
Yes, and there are so many. If you look at their kobolds, there are such nice kobolds also with the houses. It's wonderful layering all around and creating this smaller scale. You know, scaling down the village a little bit to create a little bit of an environment for the humongous snake and the glorious large dragon. That totally works. I really love that. Such a smart use also for this. But I can see that if you're more focused on the creature, then of course this part can be a little bit of a it's okay that's here, but maybe.
Yeah, I've done that in one of my builds. Like it's for a dragon that isn't finished yet, and I keep thinking, but I really hate this environment. I hate the idea that I've built around the dragon. Like there was no idea. I had to think of one, just for something to build. And it's really hard. I'm like, can't I just have a dragon in a big empty house? But of course, then it's like, you don't feel like it's a finished build.
Right,
so
right.
You feel like it has to belong to a bigger environment, and I think it's hard.
It's very hard. It's very hard. I mean, also, I have had conversations with really accomplished designers, all basically saying the same thing, that the thing that they enjoy building most is not the environment around the thing that they're building. And that's very interesting. Maybe there should be a support group.
Yeah.
That
tips to each other.
Yes,
what item can you use to fill a space?
Yes, have a conversation. That's what I mean. Talking to people can really help. Like, just saying, guys, I really struggle with this, or I'm just so unhappy with this, or I really find this difficult to create any words. This sometimes that's all it takes to find something. Maybe a different perspective can really help.
Yeah, definitely.
And what I also loved about this build is the movement with the town around it, because there's a little bit of a dilapidated part going on, obviously, where the snake has started to attack.
Yeah, it's ripped off like a tower or something, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah, it's chomping away.
Chomping. Hungrily. He's so cute. I had the best time here. Yeah, it's such a magnificent body. So exact also, and the symmetry with the head, and Sorries was saying that it was so difficult to create. And I love that it's munching on something. Do you like towers? Are they tasty? Maybe it could be also a good opportunity for you, if you are struggling with that dragon, to have people come visit, pull them in. And
it's a bit of a mess just now though, but yeah, maybe I should.
Even if it's a mess.
I'm excited to start it as well, because I'm using meat chunks and I love the meat chunks, and I've not used them for years. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to build a meat dragon, and then I'm like, but I hate the room I've put it in. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
You know, sometimes you realize that maybe you're moving to a different plot. Because, I mean, if you start in one plot and you see that the creature works, but everything around it doesn't, and maybe in a different plot it will work even better.
It's sort of like a custom building I've got around it, so
Oh.
it's kind of like my fault because I've made it. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's in Doomchar, and I really like the kind of ambience there.
Oh, yes.
It kind of suits like the meat dragon, but
Oh,
it's just the room
yeah.
I've made. That's I don't know. I just don't know. It's
Indeed.
difficult.
Welcome back, Sorries. Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, also Doomchar. Ooh, that environment, right?
One of my favorites, Doomchar.
I've tried building in Doomchar and I've never finished anything there.
Oh, I like it.
Oh my. Both of you, I mean, you start. We were just talking that JD Tara has started a dragon there and built an environment around, and is a little bit struggling there. So maybe, as I was saying, you guys, support group, environment group,
Yeah.
please help.
We build animals, we don't build environments. I mean, I do like from we can go to my next house. I do like the environment there, but it's very unnatural.
Very
in
unnatural.
even more.